Hello, hello, everybody. How are you guys? Happy Thursday. We're almost to the end of the week. I am here with the amazing Dr. Laura DeCesaris. She is, I can go on all day about her, so I'm super excited to have her here. But Laura, I'll have you go first. Introduce yourself and kind of just explain what you do for women in business, women in high career levels, and how you're going to be able to support them.
Sure. Yes. Thanks for the welcome. So I'm Dr. Laura. I have a functional medicine-based consulting practice. It's fully online, and it was created literally for women like you. Busy, high-performing women. Maybe you're at the corporate level. Maybe you're an entrepreneur or small business owner. Maybe you're even starting off a side hustle in addition to your full-time job and are ready to pull your hair out because you don't have time left. That's where I come in. So I help you create a sustainable wellness strategy for your unique needs. So no cookie cutter approaches. Everything is created based on what you want. And I cover everything from diet and nutrition to stress management tips, optimizing your sleep, making sure your brain is alive and working and fully functioning, and getting to the root cause of any health concerns you do have.
Love it. So Jennifer just commented, she's like, so excited to make this live. Jennifer, we're so happy you're here. And I can give, a really great review for Laura as well, ladies, because I was able to take her tests that she sends to all of her amazing clients to kind of see what's going on with our bodies and naturally figure out what we can do. So she's given me so many amazing tips that I'm super excited to be implementing now, especially as I'm on my journey to eventually being a mother. So there's lots of things that go on in our body that we have no idea are going on. Laura is your answer for that without having to go to multiple doctors and all of these things. So she's just been amazing for me and kind of growing my knowledge on my own body. So thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. So we are on. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us. And pretty much today, what I'm going to do is this is Laura's show, right? I want her to introduce herself, get to know you guys, give you guys amazing tips to kind of grow in your integrative health and how to make this about you, your business, and continuing to grow. So with that, Laura, what's kind of the main thing that you support your clients with? And also, how can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, so there's a couple different things that I hear a lot when women reach out to work with me. Top three, I have no energy, I'm tired all the time. I can't lose weight no matter how hard I try. I feel like my brain doesn't work and I'm going to lose my mind. Those are super common ones. And yes, I help women who come in with specific complaints figure out what the heck is going on because they're tired of just slapping Band-Aids on their symptoms and they really want to feel good and perform as best as they can. But I also take a very preventative approach too. Okay, maybe there's nothing seriously wrong, but what if you could feel and perform even better? All of the stress that's just part of our lives, entrepreneurs, right? There's always going to be fires to put out at work. How do we handle those with a cool, calm, collected grace instead of pushing our bodies to the limit and then crashing every time we launch afterwards because we've put ourselves through too much. So it's all about strategies for that as well. In terms of where you can find me, I'm on social media and Facebook under my name, Dr. Laura DeCesaris, and my website is drlauradecesaris.com. So we try and keep it easy for you guys. There you can send me notes on what you're looking for, figure out what of my offerings might be better for you. I do work with clients one-on-one. I also have a really cool small group mastermind that I run for women like yourselves. And you can just poke around and ask me any questions. I'm always available to help support you in any way I can.
Yes. And Jennifer has a really great point here. So ladies, if you're in Jennifer's shoes, Laura is the person and doctor you want to be talking with because there is that virtual option with her. And again, she is you're pretty much one-on-one with an amazing practitioner who's done this, okay, and who's seen amazing success. So if you're looking for that, I also want to point out too, because I'm going to have my ladies drop down links, but she does have a 5-day free challenge coming up. So Laura, I'll let you talk about that because I think the ladies here need that because I know I do.
Yeah, super excited about it. So it's next week, actually. It's called the Power 45 Bootcamp. And this is like my big kickoff event going into that group mastermind I mentioned. So we're in 5 days of free content headed towards you. It's all geared towards your unique needs as working women. It's going to be super fun. I think I already have like 40 or 45 women signed up, but the more the merrier. Yeah, and we'll be tuning in. We'll be tuning in once a day. There will be recordings, so if time zones don't work out, you'll be able to get those in my Facebook group up to a week after the event. So if you're like, okay, I really want to do this, but I have a crazy week next week, like that's why the recordings are there. And plus, if you are someone that's feeling that way, like you have to come, because that is literally why I made this, is to help. I hear from women all the time, like, I am so stressed. I have no time to focus on my health. Like, it's probably not as hard as you think it is, but you need a strategy. So that's my goal in this, is to help streamline that strategy for you guys.
Love it. So what can women expect from working with you? Like, what's that kind of one-on-one difference that you do other than people hopping from doctor to doctor?
Right. Like, so I created this model because what I kept seeing happen to women is just what you said. They were jumping from doctor to health coach to nutritionist, none of whom were communicating with each other. So you're being told all these different things. You're having to try and research yourself, tell the doctors the same thing over and over again. And it's a lot of time on your part, and your time is really valuable, right? Like, for some reason, as women, like, we'll delegate things out in our business, no problem. Like, yes, VA for this. Yes, marketing team for this. Yes. But when it comes to our health, we're like, oh, I can figure that out on my own. Like, let me help you.
So I love it. It's just, let me help you.
So when I work with clients one-on-one, like, we do a deep dive history. Like, this is not just about like making sure that right now, like, you have one issue, let's get to the bottom of it. Yes. But let's look at the process of your whole life that brought you up to this point in time. Let's look at all the unique stressors in your environment, both, physical and mental. Let's look at your unique goals, because everyone's goals are going to be different. And we really have to think about what is going on in your life to get you to those goals faster and more efficiently. So when I work with clients one-on-one, it's a deep dive into that. You delegate all that to me. I help you figure it out and come up with an actionable plan, because that's what most of you ladies need. You need a strategy. You need to stop being goldfish and jumping from program to program and figuring out like, what the heck do I do next? And you need a strategy for you that's personalized. So that's what we do. And then I also help bridge all those gaps of communication between your other practitioners so that everyone's on the same page. If you need extra support in terms of like personal training or a meal prep or private chef service, I make sure that you're connected with those people, but you don't have to do all that work. I'll do that for you. So that's pretty much how one-on-one looks. Yep.
I love it, because everybody's like, yes, like, I need a strategy. That's exactly what I need. Ladies, Laura, Dr. Laura, she's here for you, okay? And that kind of leads me into my next question. But like, what got you started? What got you interested in this type of medicine to like kind of dive deep into it? And then also with the niche that you're in currently.
Yeah, so I originally got into functional medicine just when I was in college. I didn't have good luck with my own health issues in the conventional model. And like, I am not anti-medicine, don't get me wrong, like time and place for both. But let's be honest, our healthcare system is very reactive. And what it's very good at is figuring out like, okay, you have a serious problem. Let's make sure that like, literally you don't die. Like, it's just the way it is. Like, preventative care is just it's not valued in that medical model. So when I was 23, I got diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease, which is an autoimmune thyroid disease. And I remember going to a doctor, and basically he said, oh, well, you're in grad school and you're stressed, and this is just going to be what it's like until you get out of school. So you're just going to have to deal with it. Here's some thyroid medication. And like, I didn't like that answer. I was like, you didn't tell me why this is happening. Like, you're just giving me a medication. I'm only 23. Like, I don't want to sign up for that without knowing that like I definitely need it and like why this is happening to me. So I was fortunate to have been introduced to a functional medicine practitioner at that time who was like, whoa, like, back the phone up. Like, we got to look at your diet, your lifestyle. Yes, your stress levels. Are you sleeping? Are you eating the right foods for your body? Do you need like extra stress support while you are doing these 18-hour days in school? And I was just like, I didn't even know this existed. How amazing. And like that doctor just took me through the process of totally transforming my health. Like I didn't end up having to go on medication. All of my symptoms went away. And I was just like, this is life-changing. Like this is what I'm going to do for sure. And that is what I did for a long time. I focused actually on autoimmune issues in clients in the practice on the East Coast. But when I made a move out to Arizona a few years ago, I really thought hard about the type of client I loved working with the most. And it was women like me. It was like really ambitious women who wanted to have it all. They wanted to be running a business. They wanted to be working hard. They wanted to enjoy their free time and be active and not feel sick and tired all the time. So that was why I created this model. And then, going online and virtual, it lets you reach people anywhere. A lot of people don't have access to a functional medicine practitioner within driving distance. And like, if I can look at one good thing that came out of last year, people realized like, wow, I can get really great guidance remotely from anywhere. So that was kind of the impetus for creating this and kind of moving fully into the virtual space with it.
Love it. And Jennifer and I think you just kind of pointed on it, but she's just asking, she's like, do you work with clients in other countries such as Canada? Because she's in Canada.
Yes, I do.
Perfect. Yeah. And I will say too, ladies, like the labs, like especially if you work with Laura one-on-one or even in your group program, you're still doing labs for everybody, right? That comes into the 45, or is that another program?
Group program, they do get one lab, which I'll be announcing next week, actually.
Ooh, yes, exciting. I'm just like,
valuable test. Yeah.
Perfect. And you guys, these labs that she does and that she chooses for you, it's very easy to do from home. Like I loved that process and to send it off. Everything is very simple, very easy. So if you guys are wondering, like, how does that work in a virtual setting? The directions were great. It didn't take that much time. So it's not really any different. Honestly, it's probably way more comfortable than going to the doctors to do tests. So something I loved.
Yeah, the convenience factor is definitely there with all of it.
Oh, 100%. And I know like all these ladies are like, that's so me. I love this, you guys, because it's true. Like Dr. Laura, kind of where she's taking us and where I think she's taking medicine as a whole is really looking at how can we be like preventative, right? Instead of reactive, because that is the worst thing I think we can do for our health is when we're reactive to it, right? We're not knowing what's really causing it in the first place. So with that, going into like this next question I have, Laura, is what are the top 2 questions you're asked when clients are looking for your services? Like what's the one thing that they're like, hey, what are you helping with? How can I get this?
Yeah, I would say the first one we touched on a little. The first one is like, how the heck does this work virtually? Like how do and what they end up finding is it's actually a lot more convenient. Like I'm based out of Arizona, and honestly, even some of my clients in Arizona, they just do it virtually because they're like, hey, I don't have to block out 40 minutes to drive to the doctor's to then sit there for an hour and then drive 40 minutes home. So there's just a convenience factor there. Yeah. But, we do face-to-face stuff. We're on the phone. You have access to me via Voxer and a private messaging app. So like we're always in communication with which when you're working virtually is really important. So that's what it looks like. Mm-hmm. I would say the other most common thing that's asked to me when people either like answer my questions on social media or shoot me a note on my website is like, I've seen X amount of doctors in the past 3, 5, 10 years. Everyone's given me a different answer. No one gave me any actionable information afterwards. So I have a handful of diagnoses with no plan for any of it. Will you give me a plan?
Yeah.
It like makes me so sad to hear that, but it's true. Like a lot of people are out there to try and just like diagnose or even get a diagnosis. And like that is important. It really is. But even more important than your diagnosis is what are you going to do about it? Like, how does that translate into the results that you want? Like just slapping a diagnosis on you isn't going to give you the answers you're truly craving. Yeah. Like you want to know, how do I feel better? How do I sleep better? How do I eat for me? How do I lose the weight that I've been trying to lose that it goes up and down and yo-yos based on what gym I'm going to. Like, that's the point of personalization, as we go through all that. What's worked for you before? What hasn't? What strategies have you tried? Maybe you've never tried a strategy and you just kind of supplement for this, medication for this, workout for this. And those things are all great. And it gives us feedback as to what's working.
Yep.
But what if you had someone to help you tie it all together and say, here is the step-by-step process that you need to get the results that you're telling me you want.
Yeah.
And we kind of work through each of those pillars together one by one, so that you have support and you have accountability and you have me messaging, hey, I haven't heard from you in 2 weeks. Are you doing what we talked about? Or did you fall off the radar?
Yes. I love that. And we have a question here that says, do you take insurance?
So unfortunately, insurance does not cover preventative care. So what I usually do for clients is I give them super bills for the visits, and then you can submit on your own behalf. But I have yet to find an insurance company that will cover anything preventative, unfortunately. Some plans have really good like out-of-network benefits or like HSA accounts. Yes. And in which case, if I give you the super bills for visits, they'll usually get something back, but totally dependent on your insurance.
Perfect. And then we have Jennifer. She's like, I'm signing up for your workshop right now. So yes, ladies, those of you who are hopping on a little bit later, Laura has an amazing 5-day challenge coming up. So I'll have her chat a little bit more about that. But I also, Laura, my other question is, what are kind of like 3 tips that you would say are like the most helpful for women in business right now? Like something you hear all the time and you're like, if you guys do these 3 things, it's going to help you feel better.
Number 1 is I'm sleeping like crap and I don't know how to sleep. Help me sleep. I'm waking up in the middle of the night. I can't wind down and fall asleep. So take a step back and I want you to look at your sleep routine. And if you're saying, what the heck is a sleep routine? Listen, because you need one. Think about what you're asking your body and your brain to do all day, right? Like most of us are working virtually on computers all day. We're getting like constant technology and stimulation in our faces, especially if there's someone with kids, like maybe you're working late, working early to try and work around their schedule. But kind of in like that hour or so before you want to go to sleep, like what's happening? Like, are you on your phone in bed? Are you watching TV till you pass out on the couch? Is there a way that you can dedicate like 40 minutes to an hour before you go to sleep to start winding down? Meaning tech goes off, or at least you pick up a pair of like blue light blockers. If you guys know what those are, they're just little glasses that help block the blue lights in. Instead of like watching Netflix to fall asleep, can you maybe start doing like a nighttime meditation or listening to some classical music as you wind down? Think restorative slowing down. You need that for a couple reasons. You need it to like calm your brain down, first of all, before you go to sleep. But you also need to get rid of that blue light at night for your body to make melatonin. And melatonin is the hormone that helps us sleep. So if we have blue light shining in our face until 9 or 10 at night, like your body's never getting that signal to start making melatonin so you can wind down a little bit. So such a simple tip, like just get a pair of glasses if you have to work. Like I get it. I've had late nights too. Sometimes it happens. But really kind of committing to start to try out new things in a routine to wind yourself down can be really valuable for your sleep. Another tip when it comes to your nutrition, I don't care what kind of dietary approach you follow, whatever that may be, like you do you. But there's 2 things that I start every woman doing. One is make sure you're eating enough protein. Most women are like severely undernourished in the protein department. We'll be talking a lot about that at the workshop next week, but that is what will help your energy levels stay stable. It's what helps cut down on cravings, helps you maintain the kind of body composition you're looking for. So protein is key. And the second, make sure you're eating enough. Like a lot of women, especially if you're someone who's trying to do weight loss, they think of like removing, cutting down. And the more you do that over time, it teaches your body to kind of operate from a starvation mode. And it actually is the opposite effect. And I know that's like really hard to wrap your head around. You're like, no, if I want to lose weight, I have to eat less. Not necessarily. Because if you do that for too long, your body literally thinks that you don't have access to enough nutrition. So make sure you're actually eating. If you're sitting there and you're like, I can't remember the last time I ate today, grab a snack.
Yeah, that's time to eat.
Like, seriously, like energy is tanking. You're like, wow, I'm getting real cranky at these comments I'm seeing on the post. Like that's your body telling you you're hungry, even if your stomach's not growling.
Yes.
So like having some convenient snacks around in like a grab basket on your counter or around your desk, like some nuts and seeds, maybe some dried fruit, things like that can be really helpful to make sure that you're staying full and focused. What was that, 2?
Yes.
And the last one is movement. Like in this last year, again, when so many of us are at our desks, our movement has really dropped a lot. So making it a priority, an appointment with yourself to get movement in, whether that's a workout at the gym, whether that's a walk outside, whether that's setting an alarm on your phone to like at the top of the hour, stand up and walk around your house or your yard or your building for 10 minutes. Even like little breaks of moving add up at the end of the day. And your body really needs that, like not just for the calorie burn, but it needs it to function properly, to drain your lymphatics, to keep your brain focused. So making sure that we're not sitting in our chair for like 10 hours without moving, really, really important.
Yeah. I know I have my girls now, they kind of do it, but they'll, when we're engaging on clients' Instagrams, they'll like go walk around. I'm like, yeah, just take the iPad and just go walk.
Exactly.
So true. Like we're stuck in chairs, you know, most of us are all day and you don't even think about it, right? To like get up and move. And that's something that like I've been doing a lot better. But I wanted to make a comment on your first one for sleep because I didn't know that blue light made you not release melatonin. Like that's a really interesting fact that I don't feel like a lot of people talk about. So that, thank you. You just like blew my mind again.
You're very welcome.
Let's see. I'm seeing if we have any more. Yes, your workshop next week sounds incredible. Ladies, obviously we've dropped that link, but also make sure to join her Facebook group because that's where you're hosting it, right? Laura is in your Facebook group.
Yep, that's where all the recordings, a Zoom link will go out, but all the recordings and it'll be streamed live or in the Facebook group.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. And I think we've dropped that link down, ladies, but we'll drop it again just so you can make sure to obviously join her Facebook group. It's amazing. She gives awesome tips daily to just really help us, just like little things that we can be doing, right? Like the snack tips. I really love when you give us like ingredients and like actual recipes that I can use. I'm like, this sounds super fun because I just need direction, right? Like I think as women entrepreneurs, that's something that we really struggle with is just like having it in front of us to do. Because we've been doing HelloFresh now for a little bit, and I just like it because it tells me exactly what to do, and that's what Dr. Laura does, ladies. So highly recommend joining that group. But now into kind of the fun, we're going to talk about the retreat that Laura is an amazing speaker at, and we're going to be in Lake Tahoe. I know you ladies have probably heard about this, but Laura is going to be there, okay? One-on-one action, asking her questions, getting to know her and her services better. She's actually rolling out an amazing opportunity just for people who are a part of the retreat. So, but I'm going to let Laura kind of talk about what she'll be talking about and why you guys should be joining us and her there.
Yeah, so super, super excited to come into the retreat. And the reason why I'm so excited is a lot of times people go to these business retreats and they learn like all the great business things, right? Like, how do I hire? How do I market? What do I do for launch? Like all of these things that we need. But again, like what about our health? Because you cannot, what anyone says, like you cannot run your business as efficiently if you're not super healthy as you could if you were. And like there are so many hacks and tricks to like really optimize your performance and make the most out of the free time that you do have to support your body and your mind and your stress response. So that 10 years down the road, you have a successful business, but you also, feel like garbage every day because you totally sacrificed your health and body for the sake of your business. Like it doesn't have to be that way. You can do both. Mm-hmm. So at the retreat, during my speaking event, I'll be taking ladies through the step-by-step blueprint that I run through with my one-on-one clients. Obviously, it'll be a general overview. I can't create that for each of you from the stage, but I'll show you the steps I take and what I do for each of them, how I troubleshoot major issues so that you can leave with some really actionable, sustainable things that you can start implementing like tomorrow. So that's my goal while I'm there. And then obviously there will be time to like chat with the speakers if you have questions about yourself and whatnot. So super excited to come to that and help you all out.
Yes, I'm so excited for that. And again, we were talking about this before we went live, ladies, but just like the in-person networking again, obviously those of you who are virtual are still going to get like amazing access to all of our speakers. They'll be coming on live with you guys, so they'll have that one-on-one time with you as well. But the in-person aspect of it, I'm really excited for, because I think a lot of us have missed that, right? And networking in person, I think just like changes the game. It's just like social media in a sense, where you never know where that connection could lead in the future, and you never know what you're going to learn from all of these speakers, especially Laura, is going to do for the rest of your business, right? Like that's why I'm so excited to have her and to be approaching business in the way that we are, is the holistic, like it's a full picture, right? Our body isn't just here's the strategies for a successful business. We also need to have these strategies for a successful life in our body and all of these things. So it's going to be an opportunity where you guys are going to be able to take these strategies home with you, implement them, and then hopefully continue to grow, the one-on-one time that you have with Laura, or grow those referrals, grow those connections. And I'm really, really excited about that. Also, those of you who are on right now, if you have any questions for Laura, drop them down. I'll make sure to put them up and we can ask them to her currently. But Laura, tell us a little bit more about yourself, because I know you have like the cutest pup ever, and I just love getting to know you more. So let's let everybody else, while they're dropping their questions down, get to know you better too.
I'll just say one more thing about your retreat, because I don't want the people who are coming virtually to feel left out. For those of you that are going to attend virtually and you're like, oh, man, I would have really liked to ask her questions, like I am going to drop a calendar link as we get closer that Nicole can share with you, so that you can actually sign up for a virtual strategy session with me. So you won't miss out on that chance, but there will just be like limited time slots, and you can grab one and feel like you're there with us getting the full experience. So I didn't forget about you, I promise.
Yay, love it. Yes, Laura, thank you for mentioning that, you guys. Yeah.
Yes. A little more about me. He's not here with me, but I have a little corgi named Murray. He's my office buddy and my work from home buddy, full of energy, but I love having pets around. I think they add so much to your life. I mentioned earlier, I'm based out of Scottsdale, Arizona now. I made the move from New York City 2.5 years ago. I love it out here. It's beautiful. Yes, wicked hot in the summertime, but I get to be outside the rest of the year. So it's a great fit for me and my lifestyle. And I'm a very active person. My passions are like powerlifting, mountain biking, kickboxing. I love doing all of that stuff in my free time. So
love it. Well, Laura, I appreciate you more than you'll know. And I know the ladies here today too do as well. Those of you guys who watch the replay, make sure to ask your questions, because I know Laura will come back and she'll answer anything that she hasn't answered. Laura, for the ladies who want to get to know you more, want to know more about your services that you offer, how should they contact you?
Yeah, you can either you can drop a comment below saying you want more info. Feel free to send me a direct message on Facebook, pop into my group. You can always go to my website, drlauradecesaris.com, and just leave something in the contact form. But totally fine if you guys just want to send me a private message on Facebook or Instagram. Say, hey, I heard you talking in Nicole's group. Here's what I have going on. I'd love to set up a time to chat, and let me see how I can help you.
Love it. Wonderful. All right, ladies. Well, we appreciate you guys for hopping on today. I know there was quite a few of you, so thank you so much. Again, we'll be doing more of these. Laura will be coming on more before the retreat as well, so you can get to know her even better. And again, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Laura. And we will see you all again very, very soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.